Hello, everyone. I think we're on live now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live interview on Transmedia HistoryTelling YouTube channel. I am Zeynep. I'm a researcher at Max Planck Institute for Legal History and Legal Theory. And it's a pleasure for me and also Luisa to have our guest Gesine Born today. And I'm glad that I'm sharing the interviewer chair today with Luisa Couthinho, my colleague.
Thank you, Zeynep. I'm Luisa, and I'm also a researcher at the same institute as Zeynep. And my research is somehow related to our topic today. I research on women's legal history, among other things, which makes me even more interested in our guest today. Well, we have Gesine Born here with us. I will try to briefly introduce you, Gesine, before giving the floor to you, Gesine. So, Gesine Born studied chemistry and communication design with a focus on photography in Hamburg. During her studies, she discovered her fascination for portrait photography, logic, and the visualization of systems. In 2006, she completed her photography studies with Ute Mahler, focusing on the utopian living concept of the 1960s. From 2010 onwards, she identified herself as a science communicator and started also developing concept for portraits of scientists. Her desire to work more interconnectedly, to create innovative visualizations, and to show ways for responsible handling of images resulted in the founding of the Building Institute.
Hello, Gesine.
Hi. Thank you so much for being here and speak about my project. And I founded this Picture Institute to talk about pictures, and maybe I can introduce myself the best way of showing my project in pictures. So I would like to share my screen.
Just 1 second before we start. Maybe I think it's easier for the audience to have to know that how we're going to proceed with the interview today. So we will first have Gesine's presentation about how she started the project, the AI, and what was the idea of making women in science visible. And after that, we recently visited her amazing exhibition in Darmstadt. So she will also show us how it went and what was the idea behind. And so if people are interested in having similar projects with her. And finally, stay tuned for a live a session that she'll play around with AI and to create us a photo. So let's see how it will work. And then, of course, we will end with a Q&A session. Sorry, Gesine, I was just interrupting you. And the floor is now yours. Of course, you can share your screen. I will help you with that. Let me see. Okay, here should be now. Yes. I think it's visible now. Yes.
Yeah.
Now Rosalind Franklin.
Yeah. And I want to show you the way to my project of the missing pictures. Everything starts in about 5 years ago when I worked for Science Institute, and I saw in the institute and on the walls this ancestors gallery of knowledge. So photos of famous scientists and Nobel Prize winners in a hard black and white light, very proud, but no women were on the walls. So where are the women? And there's another example here in the Hanak house. So my idea was to make photos of living scientists, great scientists, women scientists, and photograph them in the same way than the man. So like in a hard black and white light with great poses, proud poses, and put them on the walls and fill the gap from the man and to fill the walls also with women. Of course women are working in science, and so why are they not visible? So after doing that a long time, AI was coming. So, and for me, AI is a great opportunity to visualize science and ideas. And I do this with also with other topics. I will show now 3 examples. That is for the Max Planck magazine. So it was about a topic of brains and where we will find our way to our destination. That's a collage. Also, it was about AI on the couch. So I visualized Sigmund Freud making a tea with a robot. And also the third topic was about that we are overflooded with information and that it's not a good way. And so I did this AI picture. Also, I want to mention that for me, it's really important to make a mark that this is of AI generated picture, and that I also force my clients to show the full prompt that I use in Midjourney. So I can show also a transparent way what I put into the AI machine and show my way how to work with it. So, and after a learning curve in AI, I heard a really great podcast about Rosalind Franklin, and she was a really famous scientist. And she discovered the first, or she developed the first picture of DNA. And she made a photo, and this photo was the photo 51. And her colleagues really stole it from her desk and get later a Nobel Prize for it. And here's also a photo of a sign that someone make like a graffiti and say, okay, Franklin was also a part of this, but she was never mentioned by her colleagues, and she died in a really young age on cancer. So for me, it was really important to make something out of the story. So that was my first picture of a missing picture, a picture that I really wanted to see, and that is justice for Rosalind Franklin getting the Nobel Prize. And it was like not a joke, but it was like, oh, I just wanted to see that picture. And when it came out, it was really something that touches me and that I was thinking about, oh, this is a possibility to make a woman in science from the history that were not famous or were stolen from her ideas, to make them visible. And so I started to find other women. Oh, this is a picture of the Nobel Prize ceremony with the people with singing heads giving the prize to her. But I also found, of course, many other women. And the second one was Lise Meitner. And I wanted to make a picture from her because in the actual Oppenheimer movie, she was not mentioned in one sentence. And of course, her work was also mind-blowing and was so important for the Kernspaltung. Sorry for this, but she was also invited to make this bomb, but she was a pacifist. So I make also a picture from her as a pacifist. And another example is Elisabeth Schiemann, and she's a great biologist, and I made generate this picture as her as a young student dancing in the streets of Berlin. And you can see here in the prompt on the left side that I uses also some great photographers to make the pictures. So
So you refer to a photographer to create a similar photo like that photographer?
Yeah, and
Okay.
of course the picture is so yeah, it's like a picture that is made by Albert Renger Patsch, and you can see his style. And of course, this is very important that this picture is working like this.
Okay, and with the reference, because then you you give the credit to the
Of
photographer
course.
as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this is a picture I made from Elisabeth Schiemann working on the plants. But my favorite picture of Elisabeth Schiemann is with two sisters that she rescued from the Nazis. And yeah, it's also possible to make this emotional pictures.
Mm.
Katherine Johnson as a NASA scientist. Or Sissy Vogt, she was a scientist for brains. And here you can see in the prompt that it's like in the style of Marina Abramovic, that is the performance artist. And of course, that's make this a little bit like dark vision of the picture. So Agnes Pockels was a scientist that was not able to study because she has to work, has to take care for her family, but she was doing really great science with really basic stuff in the kitchen. So this is my idea of her making the dishes, and the idea to show how this was working. Yeah, I also wanted to mention something very special of AI, and that shows why women maybe also are not visible in science. If you would type in the AI machine like Midjourney, just a photo of a scientist, the machine would just show you this: only old men doing science.
And white.
And white, of course, yeah.
Yes.
And that is the bias of the AI. Of course, AI is using all the pictures in the internet, and you see that all the pictures are men and white men doing science, and this is of course not right. So we really have to change this, and we really have to change our prompts and our thinking to use AI in a really responsible way. Another example to show the bias of AI is if you would put a photo of a cleaning person, then you get woman, and then you get also a little bit more diversity.
Yeah.
But of course, it's all prejudice, and it's so hard to see that. So yeah, that was a very small beginning of my work, and what I already did for women, but yeah, we'll
Which is impressive.
now.
I will. Yeah. Okay, you did it. I mean, it's amazing, and I mean, I heard, because we also saw some photos also in the exhibition, but I'm always impressed, especially. So, for example, for Rosalind Franklin, you listened to this podcast, and you had this motivation to create her, and I think she died in her 30s, but now you have her having this Nobel Prize in her late, I don't know, 50s, 60s. So it's just, how do you decide on these women? Do you have a specific way of doing this, or I mean, or how do you make your own research? Can you do that? And for this project, I think you worked with so I have to say it correctly, Kiel. Was it? Maybe you can mention your cooperation and how you funded this project as well a bit.
Yeah, when I started with the photos from the real scientists, I got a fellowship from the Kiel Science Communication Network, and had the possibility to work half a year on researching how to make women in science visible. So I started then with photography, and also had the time to make this research or looking for other pictures when the AI project was coming then. So when you ask me how I decide which woman I choose, that was just like that I was talking to scientists, to women scientists, to say, oh, I have an idea like this pockles, can you do this? Or I also did my own research for looking in the internet for women that are under this Matilda effect. There's a real name for this, that women are not visible in science. So it was that some people had ideas for this, or I was also doing my own research. Yeah, but
So I have a question about this, Gesine. So you do the historical research yourself, or you have some help when you decide to choose which women you are going to work with? So how is the process of adding some historical background to these women? Yes, I'm very curious about this.
yeah, in the beginning, when I made it by myself with the big scientists like Lise Meitner or Rosalind Franklin, I was just making my own research in the internet and look for basic information that helps me making this picture. Of course, I don't need really a historical background, just the year where she was living, and so I can transform this into the way how to make the prompt, the correct photograph prompt for this. So when it's very old, so the technical things of photography are another. Then from the 1970s, they were using some other films or other cameras. So I can do this technical stuff in the prompt. So that was, I don't really need so much background, but we will talk about it later. The project's becoming better and better, of course, when people with this really background are saying, okay, we have this woman in our university, and so
And
we talk
they
about,
tell you the story,
yes,
and then you have some more ideas.
yeah.
I will use this occasion to ask maybe Luisa, because you're doing women's legal history and you sometimes work on biographies. How do you choose those women, or how do you gather your information about them? And it is always choosing something and making it more visible. So you leave some others behind. This is also a process, a methodology that works well sometimes, but maybe sometimes not, or
Yeah, so for me, it's a little bit different because I work with 16th and 17th century. And most of the time it depends on the sources I found for the places I'm working with. So it's sometimes it has to do a little bit with with lucky when we go to the archives. The question of what we can find in the archives is crucial for the periods I work with when I try to find these women, because sometimes these sources are just inside of a box that's not cataloged yet, so it's like depends on how much time I'll have to go through all these documents. And sometimes they are even if the sources are like, if the archive worked with the sources and maintain it in a proper way, and the way they catalog these sources can be a little bit tricky when we try to find women and other issues related to gender studies in the archives. So basically, I first worked with colonial Brazil with a specific captaincy. It's like a small place in colonial Brazil. And then I was focusing on the women from this place and try to find the sources about it. But they're really scarce, or they're like mostly they're destroyed or in a very bad conditions. And now with Japan, it's more or less the same. It depends on how I can find them with the source I have in my hands. But differently, my women are basically doing everything everywhere. So they are like, for the case of Japan, they are like, they can be the wife of a very famous daimyo, but it can also be that it's a woman selling sake in a very small town, in a small market. So
you have different women's, women in your research. I see. So I will take this then to Gesine and then to go to Darmstadt, because there you had some specific names, but you worked on a project with the team. So maybe you can tell us about these women in science in Darmstadt with your exhibition. Maybe you want to present something, and then we can talk about the details.
Yeah, the project in Darmstadt was really interesting. Of course, the Schader Stiftung in Darmstadt invited me to make an exhibition, and the first idea was making an exhibition about real photos. But then this AI topic was coming up, and so they decided to give this idea to the round table in Darmstadt. And the very special thing on this round table is that all institutions around Darmstadt and Frankfurt are sitting on a table, and there was the idea, okay, we are looking for our own scientists, female scientists that were not visible. And so this process shows that this missing pictures is really a good way to make a woman visible. It's not about the pictures, it's about the process that the people were thinking about. Okay, now we are looking in our archives. So who is there, and why is there no picture? And then there was their own research, and for some of the women we made, there were just a small, really bad quality photo in
the archives.
The
personal files.
Yeah. So maybe I can show the pictures now we did for the exhibition, and I really have to tell that it was a long way to come to the pictures. So now
Yes, here you go.
You see?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we do.
So this is the room where the exhibition is, in the Schader Stiftung in Darmstadt, and we had 17 scientists, and it's about 8 women scientists from Darmstadt. You see here in the middle that looking on the stage, and on the other side where the scientists I already did for the project. And you see maybe here that there is a sign that shows the history of the woman and why she was not visible, and also very small original picture of the scientist, and the very small yellow pictures next to it shows the full prompt that we use.
Yes, I was going to say,
That was a really important part of the exhibition, also to show the process of AI. And there was also a video that shows how that is working. So maybe I go through the pictures and tell something about the way to get to this picture. And that was the first woman, and that was the first she was the first person to get the Schader Prize from the Schader Stiftung. And that was also the idea that there was no picture of the ceremony where she was getting the prize. So in the beginning, we wanted to make a picture from her to get this prize. But then with the discussion with also a former student of her, knowing her, the picture changed to another thing. And of course, she had a blue Porsche, and that was really important for her. So we put her in front of her car, and this picture took the longest. Of course, I make thousands of variations from all different kinds of angles, and also to have then someone who really knows her. That makes it really interesting, because in the beginning I had something really like laughing and friendly, and it was the the reaction, no, she was not like this. She was really serious about her work. And so that was surprising also for me, because I was really anxious that the emotional reaction of someone who really knows her were like, oh no, I wanted to have her in a better way or in this way. But it was quite the opposite. So yeah, that was Erika Spiegel. The next one, Gillian Bibby, was a musician and make compositions and new compositions. And I think the very emotional part of this picture is that she died a year ago, and her husband was still living. And also to deal with this, to make it in a very empathic way, to ask if it's okay to show this picture, but to give her a stage, to give her a presentation that was absolutely okay for her husband. But also this communication, I really have to thank Stella Lorenz, who helped me with this project, and it was constantly very good working together and making also this communication with everyone.
I mean, maybe just to mention, it feels like, okay, you just give the prompt and then you have the photo. But when you tell all these stories, we understand how difficult it is to create them.
Yeah, of course, if you have all the possibilities, you really have to find the right way. And sometimes it is that I see a picture and think for myself, oh, okay, I'm ready now. This is a good picture for the project. But I really think that you need to wait for 2 or 3 days and then look again to the picture and then rethink, is it really a good picture? And also this project, we constantly checked it with the institutions, and then we get a feedback and they say, no, we don't think that it's right. Can you make it again? Or sometimes yeah, perfect. We can took this picture like this. So that was also a journey. And I think that is the value of this project. I also mentioned that I'm not an artist. I'm just thinking pictures, and the pictures are not the end product of this work. I think the way to get these pictures is more valuable as the pictures themselves. So yeah, this scientist, Javanka Boncic-Katarinic, she was the first engineer and from the TU Darmstadt. And this was a picture that was really quickly finished. Of course, I had a good basic material I could work with. And also this old style from 1930, it's really working good in AI. Maria Boris, that was also a nice story, because she wrote a book about girls in school. And I first generate her with this girls in the classroom, and it was also really laughing, and it was so kitschy, nearly, you know the word kitsch. So it was a little bit.
But he wasn't like that in the end?
No. So we changed also the topic, that we show her with immigrants in Frankfurt. And that was also a big part of her work. Judita Kofman is a mathematics professor. And she had a lot of problems to work there. And also later something like giving up working as a teacher. Of course, she had so much pressure, and that was a problem. I wanted to make her in front of an audience, but it's really hard to generate this with AI. she was always then sitting in the audience. So
Okay.
yeah, it's sometimes really funny that some situations are really hard to generate and some are
So
really easy. So
is it because the AI is biased and it doesn't show you that she could be teaching? Is it the reason? Probably.
yeah, but it's also, I think that there's not much material that a
Teaching
professional.
woman.
Yeah, no, it's more about the that a person is standing in front of an audience. Of course, you normally have a portrait. If you have a portrait, the person is always in front,
Yeah.
and so this perspective aspect is really hard to generate. Of course, also with a woman, but this is not a problem. Of course, then I write female scientist, and I have also a photo. But to have this perspective that the audience is in the back and she is speaking to them, that it was really hard to generate.
And Gesine, how did you discover that such a specific thing, like she would like it to teach and sitting among the students?
Of course, she was a professor for mathematics, so yeah, we decided to make a portrait from her in the university and teach the students.
Okay.
I go to the next one, Gesine Born, and yeah, that was also a nice story about this photo. Of course, she was a biologist and she made also traveled to the Amazonas rainforest, and she also worked with fishes, with eels. And I tried to generate her with an eel, but that was so creepy because eels to generate is so hard because yeah, Midjourney doesn't know what an eel is, and it was really horrible pictures. So I just make it really basic to let her stand in the Amazonas rainforest. And in the original picture, she has her hands in her pockets. And that was a lot of discussions. Of course, some people thought that this is like a tourist, that she is standing there like a tourist. But to have the hands in the pockets, it's also a feministic way to show I have pockets. Of course, pockets are trousers, pockets are working, it's not a female way to stand like this. And I think it's great that she's standing there with the hands in her pockets, because her original picture shows her the same way.
Yeah.
Gisela Bergstresser, she was wanted to generate her with her pictures that she is collecting for the Hessische Landesmuseum. And this is also example you can see in the background that AI, of course, is generating these pictures by itself. So we don't have an influence on this, but this is also part of the project that we just take what AI is giving us like this. Of course, it would be possible to make the original pictures with Photoshop but also for the Hessische Landesmuseum, it was okay to take this original shot from the AI. Also, this picture was the only one that I did with version 6.0. I normally did not the newest version of this would be there's a word that is called uncanny valley. So if things are getting too realistic, you don't get an emotional way to go to the pictures, because it's a little bit like creepy. And I always make a compare with 6.0 and the older version. And normally the older version is the better, even if the pictures are not looking hyper realistic, or that's often the point, that they are more emotional for us to.
That's interesting point. If it becomes more and more perfect, then it will become less emotional.
Yeah. So, and the last picture I did from Ottilia Radi, she had the collection of photographs, old photographs, dias, and the nice story about this picture is that I generated live with a scientist of the TU Darmstadt, and I did before another version of her with historical costumes she was working on, and then the idea was, okay, now the collecting dias would be a better way to represent her. So we did it live in a Zoom meeting, and that was really nice to see that the scientist said, yeah, that is a good picture. We can take this. So yeah, and that were the 8 women of Darmstadt, and I think I really want to show these pictures now in this presentation, because I think that this is a really great way when the universities are looking for their own missing pictures and do it in a collaboration. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gesine, for this presentation about Darmstadt. I think the next question we have is about if you have already critics. I mean, the critics regarding the work in general, and critics to the presentation, to the Darmstadt exhibition.
And maybe also the feedback in general from the exhibition, because there were lots of people. How were their reaction in general, and did you have any critics?
There were a lot of positive reaction on this, but there were now 2 social media posts, and there were a lot of discussion in the internet if it's allowed to make this photorealistic pictures, or to make now a pictures that comes in everyone's mind. Is it okay to create an artificial picture that is becoming part of the history? I can really understand this, and I think that is a really important discussion we have also to do. The other thing was more that people are not have their own picture in mind when they see Lise Meitner and this picture of her smoking a cigarette. They don't like it, and they don't say that this is a representative picture of her. And I really can understand it, but of course this is my
your perspective, your subjective
my perspective, and also of course this is the important thing that I also show the prompts. Of course, this shows what my way to think about this woman is. So that is what it makes so important. The other thing in the exhibition is that you can go through it and have headphones and hear the stories of the woman with the AI generated voice of Lise Meitner. And that was just also like I just try this. And then when I edit it and hear all the stories told
with
by
her voice,
it's another emotional level. And yeah.
We were also there, Luisa and I. So these were the small, here you had the QR code, and then it directed you to the website. Yeah, Luisa is also one. I have also several. And which led you to the website, and then we heard the story from Lise Meitner's voice. And I think also, maybe just briefly, there was also in the exhibition, there was also this part where we watched a short video about this process, how you made the photos. It was really, really interesting to show also how the AI was biased and that it didn't work, how you try to train the AI. So it's not a process of, okay, let me do this and then it's there. It is really a long process. I think that part was also nice. Before we finish this part about Darmstadt, when so the exhibition, I don't know when the audience will be watching this video, but the exhibition will be until June, around June, I think.
Yeah.
Stiftung in Darmstadt. So if you're around in Germany, I think it's a good idea to visit it.
With headphones.
With headphones, yeah. You can
Yeah.
bring it.
Also, I wanted just to point out that not the pictures are the important thing, to see this room of possibilities, and to
Yes.
see AI also in a positive way, because we are talking about AI as fake information. Of course, this is also really relevant, but also to show how you can use it to create something good. That is really my I really wanted to point this out.
Yes, I think that because it is also, now I'm reflecting on what we do in legal research. It is your methodology, it is your way, it is your, so it's kind of similar, and yeah, it is the process which makes things important. I mean, not only the results.
Yeah, I was
So
thinking with my sources. When I look
yes,
back what they're writing in a certain language, and it's like documents that are produced by a period by certain people. And what I do is also to take a picture of that what I'm reading with my own interpretation, with my own bias, with my own positionality. So I
it is
was
always.
it's making me reflect on how we read the sources
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, now we come to the last part,
Mhm.
and Gesine will show us with one example, like a sample photo, how we can work on a photo, write the prompt, and yeah, if it's, let's see how good it is. Yes, here we go.
So just let me.
You already.
Yeah.
So maybe I can briefly say a word. I mean,
Yeah.
Gesine asked
Can you
us
introduce-
spontaneously if we have a photo about a woman, and she can try to create a photo of her. I mean, because we are doing legal history, I thought about this first woman law professor in Turkey, in Istanbul University. So this is her photo, which was from the Istanbul University archives. And Gesine told us that she may try to work with this photo and create a new one.
Yeah, and show how I would work now if I would make a missing picture of a woman scientist. So I uploaded this picture to Midjourney. That's a program that I'm working with, and so now it's in the AI. So I can do now this imagine, put this into it, this link to the picture that the AI is finding it. And I already prepared something. I would just,
The prompt.
yeah. Can you see it? Standing in
Yes.
the garden of the University of Istanbul, proud, warm light, 1950, Kodak Portrait Colors, award-winning press photo. And now I will give it
Let's
to,
see.
and now it's waiting to start.
Yeah, and with colors.
Yes.
Oh. Ah, here you go.
So, and now these are the results that Midjourney is giving to us. And we can choose now one of these and can work with this picture later. But yeah, what do you think?
I have no idea. I mean, you are the photographers.
Yeah, the first thing I like the first thing, but I think she is a little bit too young. But I like
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
and maybe the fourth one we can also
Okay.
make. I will do now upscale the first one and the fourth one, and I also want to have variations of the first picture. So AI is giving me. So this is the upload, the first picture.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fourth picture, and now Midjourney is making small variations of this. That it's like small difference in the background, the face, in the light. So
can you ask, for example, to make her older in this?
yeah. This would be exactly my next step. So I take this prompt again, and the thing is that I have to look. Sorry, I have a problem here with. So standing in the garden of the University of Istanbul as a 60-year-old
Professor.
Yeah. Of course, the thing is that Midjourney is making always the woman's younger and better looking,
more attractive, even if they're not.
Oh yeah, he's making a man. I'm sorry.
Oh no, because you wrote professor, probably.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh my god! But but I think it's good to see how it doesn't work.
But of course, then the professor, the bias is bigger than the picture.
Yeah,
because you said old professor, automatically it was a man, even if we were working on
even if the photo is of a woman.
Yes, amazing.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yes, amazing.
This is funny with his hair. It's a mix, but this is a glitch in the matrix. I say there are so many examples for this.
Who's going to? Well, anyway.
But the colors and the setting is really good. I'm surprised. I would not change a lot of stuff. Of course,
yes,
colors are great, like the light in the background. Oh,
yeah, I think
it's
much better.
Wow.
I would like this or this.
Yeah, I love the building of the university behind her.
Yeah.
It is the building. I think the AI found a photo of Istanbul University building. I think. I mean, at least it's similar.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I love the third one.
They're nice. They're all
What
nice.
do you think? The third or fourth, or what is your favorite?
Third one, I like the way how she looks to the camera, like the confidence in her eyes.
I make this big, and I want to show you something else. I can zoom out now and make more.
She's
background.
Now in the middle of the garden. Okay.
And I also can show you the same prompt with the newer version. Maybe that will show this uncanny valley, that it's not so good.
This is what you meant.
Take the
more.
Oh, you make flowers now around her.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's nice.
That is nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes, amazing.
Yeah, that was luck that it was now from.
It wasn't too bad.
A good prompt or a good that also this university building in the background was.
I think that then the AI finds a lot of photos on already in the internet. Probably. Okay. Even more.
Now you see and compare with the newer version, the 6.0.
I mean, I don't know which one is realistic. She actually lived, I think, so we might have older photos, but
this is really,
but it is, yes,
better, as more realistic than the other version. But I would really choose this version than this. but this is more, yeah.
I see the point. Yes, it is with more feelings on the previous version and less. It is more realistic and then less emotions. I see.
So now I can upscale it and we can make posters out of it. No problem. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I can also, I will put her just as a joke in University of Now. But we can also have now some questions or something.
Yes.
I just wanted to see how it would be seeing her in a now in a University of 2023.
Today. Okay. Well, the university building is still there, so the photography will change probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course,
the clothes.
Yeah. I would now, if I would really do this picture of making her now, I would change the description of the clothes and everything. So, but not so bad.
Okay. It was an amazing process. I mean, the process is the important part. Now I see I understand even better. We have some questions from our audience. So just 1 second. Okay. So we have a question from Carla, and I'll read it. You said earlier that the purpose of making the photographs is not the photographs themselves, but the process. This leads me to wonder about the discussions and debates that the photographs have provoked. What debates has your work produced? What is the relevance of having these discussions today? I mean, this process. So maybe the one point was the emotion, for example, or how you write your prompts.
Yeah, the thing with the process, I mean that people seeing these pictures and then they think about how many pictures are not made yet. And I had the case that I also give all the pictures away. So when people like to have them, I give it to them. And so they were printed in the University of Bonn, and a professor of chemistry was calling me and said, I really want to have these pictures. And I say, yeah, of course you can have it. And then he was like, yeah, I really want also to hang women there. But then he was thinking, but we have female scientists, actual female scientists in chemistry that won the Nobel Prize. And I said, of course. So then hang them.
Yeah.
That I mean, with the pictures are not so important, but the pictures give a really fast emotional door to this topic, and then people are in this room and thinking about how to make women visible. And of course, AI is just a method to do that, but it makes people think about it, and that is really the important part of this project.
Yeah.
Yes, true. Luisa, I think you.
Yes, I have many questions. But I was thinking that this maybe it's a question like departing from my own ignorance using the artificial intelligence programs, but this program is made only for photos. You can only upload the photos and ask them to make these photos with this specific provenience of the from the time, from the machine, from okay. So it's not possible to make it with like paintings from 17th, 18th century, things like that.
Yeah,
like create images.
Yeah, you can also do paintings and design, of course, but I had the problem that I wanted to make the idea of someone else to make this woman painted by female painters. And the problem is that the idea is really nice, but AI is not good in being creative. Of course, paintings are in art form that is living from the creativity of making something new, and Midjourney can just copy some like hard brushes, but it doesn't make sense, and it's really hard to think that AI is can do everything. AI is not creative. You can use it in a creative way if you think about styles and stuff, but that is also a thing that for me, this is not a photo. And when people say, oh, it will make photography away, no, will not. I think that journalistical photography will get a really higher stand now in the picture world, because this is something completely different than AI. So you can't show reality, in my opinion, with AI. And if you see like Donald Trump using it now, that's so ridiculous to show an AI generated picture of him surrounded by diverse people. Of course, you don't have a normal picture of showing this.
You're right.
I see. So my question now is about you. What comes next, in the sense that I just heard that you are not going to maybe use paintings, but you are already using the voices, the recreation of the voices. So what are your plans now with AI?
Yeah. Films are coming.
Yes.
So if you see Sora, that is a new program that makes prompts in video. I can make this ceremony of the Nobel Prize, giving the Nobel Prize to Rosalind Franklin. And that will be the next step. But I really try to not to go on this trap like, oh, there's something new, I have to use it, but to use it in the right way, to think, make it sense to make now a video of Rosalind Franklin getting the Nobel Prize. I think so, but just to use it as, oh, it's new, I have to do it, that's not my way. I really think about all the methods I can use for doing pictures or visual stuff, and then decide which medium is the best.
We have one other question from the audience. I understand this. So when we write a book, a fiction book, it is okay to write a book. But if you create this unrealistic, I mean, it is realistic partly, this photo, this image, it is new. And why does it take more time for the audience to accept this? I mean, do you feel this way? When it's in the written form, this fictionalized world or image, it's fine. But when they see it, it's maybe more real. I don't know. I mean, do you have a...
But exactly, this is a really good question. And this is the possibility, but also the trap of AI. Of course, these are really photorealistic pictures I do. And of course, people are thinking that a photo is real, but it never was. Photos were in the history, they make also picture manipulation, and so. But I think it's about the way we think about pictures, or especially about photos, that are real, and when we look at it, it is real. But also this part of the concept that we think this is a real picture, a missing picture, and I see now Rosalind Franklin, and that giving me a feeling. And I think, of course, I can tell then later, oh, it's a prompt, it's not realistic, but the feeling is still there. And but I try to make it in a really transparent way. And of course, this is just a concept of reality.
When you said that, so you showed us this gallery of scientists at the institute. So you see these photos of men. They are real, but in their daily life, they didn't also look like that, but we accepted.
Yeah.
But now that we create something like this, it is people are not used to this. Maybe it's only because it's new, and maybe in some years,
or maybe it's just because we're
we are
showing power,
women.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
And that's what people are not so used to do.
they will get used to.
On the top of
Hopefully,
everything of artificial intelligence, we have like something that really
something
disturbs.
more.
Yeah, that
This
really
was also mentioned in the Darmstadt exhibition in one of the speeches. And so it is not only that you're trying to make women visible in the past, but these kind of projects are also, they make us, with this process, we also realize, okay, women are still not visible in science or research.
Mhm.
So I'm really happy that you're pursuing this. And I hope that you will continue with other projects
Yes.
soon. Okay, we don't have any other questions from the audience. Luisa, to you.
Well,
Maybe one last question. We already.
well, I had this, I have been thinking regarding what I just said about if you think that if you agree with this idea that it's not only because we are using this created image, but it's also because it's about the gender in our society. So it's about the political discussion behind the project, the political uses of the project, and how it disturbs people because of what women's and gender studies have been pointing out. It's because of this patriarchal influences we have, and this creation of where women and men should be in our society. If you agree, if it's also because of a gender issue here, political gender issue.
Yeah, you see it in languages, and I just see it in pictures. So
Yes, true.
So and maybe this is to gender pictures, the project. So.
Luisa is trying with her research. You're
Yeah.
trying with photos, pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a continuous the process, but it's good that there are some people pursuing this. So thank you. Thank you, Gesine, for being our guest today.
Yeah, thank you so much to talk
Thank you.
about my project.
We will put the links to your website and probably the exhibition that is currently in Darmstadt and on the YouTube video. And yeah, I hope to meet you. I mean, we hope to meet you again in the future with other projects, maybe.
Yeah, I would like to do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gesine, also from my side.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.